Let's talk for a few minutes about conflict resolution. We're going to look at an example from Israel in the Old Testament about a conflict that occurred and how it was resolved. Let's start here by reading in Joshua chapter 22. Joshua chapter 22, starting in verse 10 through verse 16. When they came to the region of the Jordan, which is in the land of Canaan, the children of Reuben, the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built an altar there by the Jordan, a great impressive altar. Now the children of Israel heard someone say, "Behold, the children of Reuben, the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built an altar on the frontier of the land of Canaan in the region of the Jordan on the children of Israel's side." And when the children of Israel heard it, the whole congregation of the children of Israel gathered together at Shiloh to go to war against them. And as we see here in verses 13 through 15, they sent Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to them. They sent 10 rulers with him, and these people were heads of houses. And down there in verse 15, they came to the children of Reuben, to the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and the land of Gilead, and they spoke with them, saying, "Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, what treachery is this that you have committed against the God of Israel, to turn away this day from following the Lord, and that you have built for yourselves an altar, that you might rebel this day against the Lord." So there's this conflict over an altar. The tribes east of the Jordan built an altar. And a little bit of background history there, we know as they're taking the land of Israel, some tribes took the east side, they went over to the west side, helped the remaining tribes get their land, and they're just now getting back to the east sides, the one that were settling there. When they go back to the east side, they build this altar. The tribes west, when they built it, decide to go to war against them, and accusations are thrown, aren't they? They say, "What treachery is this?" And we didn't read the verse, but it's like, wasn't Peor enough an incident they had there, and suffered by the Lord punished them, and they accused them here of rebelling against the Lord. And it turns out it was a misunderstanding. Let's read on and see about this misunderstanding. Here in Joshua 22, starting now verse 26 through 29. "Therefore we said," the east side guys here saying, "Hey, this is why we built it and what we said. Let us now prepare to build ourselves an altar, not for burnt offering nor for sacrifice, but that may be a witness between you and us and our generations after us, that we may perform the service of the Lord before him with our burnt offerings, with our sacrifices, with our peace offerings, that your descendants on the west side may not say to our descendants on the east side in time to come, 'You have no part in the Lord.' Therefore we said, it will be when they say this to us or to our generations in time to come, that we may say, 'Here's a replica of the altar which our fathers made.' Though not for burnt offerings or sacrifice, it's a witness between you and us. Far be it from us that we rebel against the Lord and turn from following the Lord this day to build an altar for burnt offerings or grain offerings or sacrifices, besides the altar of the Lord God, which is before his tabernacle." So, as we look at this problem in this altar, this misunderstanding, it was just a replica of the one before the tabernacle on the west side. It was a witness, a reminder to them. They actually had concerns about their relationship east and west side. This was meant to be a good thing. It was not to sacrifice to other gods or be used like an idol or anything of that nature. Let's read one more verse here from Jesus and then get lessons here. Here in Matthew 18, verses 15 through 17, this is what Jesus said. "Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you've gained your brother. If he won't hear you, take with you one or two more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word can be established. If he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. If he refuses to even hear the church, let him be to you like a heathen or a tax collector." So, in summary, some lessons we've learned here. You really want to try to work it out alone when you have a problem with something. We often gossip. We often go behind someone's back, talk about it, make it bigger than it is, and it could be a total misunderstanding thing. So try to work it out alone. Talk to that person. Don't go fighting immediately, which this is hard. This is challenging for all of us. The flesh does not want to do these things. We need to listen. An even harder part. It's easy to go talk. It's harder to go listen. I remember an Indian gentleman on the radio once was talking about politics, and as they were going to deal with another nation or body of people, he said, we need a dialogue, not a monologue. So don't go preach to a guy. Listen, see if there is a misunderstanding or something. If it's not working out, then take a witness or two. Try to keep it small scale, if you will. And then if that still fails, it has to escalate from there. It could involve the church and things of that nature. So much more to learn here, but here's an application from an Old Testament thing, and hopefully this was beneficial.